What's up, Van Fam? It is Ben Price here, back again at you with another video today. Now, I know it's been a little while, trust me. I've been bugging myself about it more than I think you've been looking for me. But we're back. Back to the point of today's video. We got a van tour for you. This is Turk. Let's go inside. Everyone, let's start here actually on the outside. This is Turk. This is a 2007, I believe, 2007 Ford E250 extended. Started its life as a passenger van, a 15-person passenger van, and this van actually came to us already built out. It was a DIY build and it was less than ideal. We pulled out at least 1,000 pounds. There was actually a 3-inch thick concrete shower pan up front. It was a solid, I want to say like 24 by 36 slab of concrete right there. And the owner was wondering why she was getting such horrible fuel economy. Go figure. Coming on inside. This layout probably looks a little familiar. And it should be. Because this is not only a classic layout since Westphalia in the 60s, but it's also a classic layout for the Ford Econolines. And we've done a few of these already, and we're going to start doing a lot more of them. If you are new here, all of this cabinetry and the framing for all of our furniture, it's all aluminum. Now we do have wood door fronts and drawers. And we'll explain that here in a second. But all of the carcasses for the cabinets, 0.100 inch thick aluminum, powder coated, white in this particular case. But what that does is allows our cabinets to be incredibly lightweight, which is always important. Even if you're under your GVWR, you want to stay as far under it as possible, and aluminum cabinets allow us to do that. This aluminum is 40% lighter per square inch than the traditional 3/4 inch Baltic birch that a lot of builders are using. So we're saving quite a bit, allowing more capacity, I guess, above your GVWR for things like water, food, pets, people, gear, clothes, snacks, all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the actual tour. Let's start here at the front. This storage cubby came with the pre-existing build, and we just left it in there and just started building around it. We added our custom foam insert right here, wrapped in upholstery fabric so that you don't hit your head. Because on these lower vans, that's definitely a risk. And yeah, we try to do that anywhere there's a risk of bumping your head, kind of like right here. We've also foamed and fabriced that. We've got our upper cabinets up here. Again, same thing. That's aluminum with a wood face. Now we use 1/2 inch Baltic birch on the face and for the drawers. And the 1/2 inch is actually lighter than the 0.10 aluminum. But of course, because it's half, it's not quite as strong. And you still have issues like rot and mold with wood, which you will never have with aluminum because aluminum is impervious to water. Another little bonus feature there for you. So we've got standard RV pulls, or latches, should I say, to keep everything closed. We've got these lift stays that keep the door open for you. We use those different than the normal gas struts because the gas struts can be kind of hard and finicky to get aligned, but also get the right weight. so that, you know, you've got a nice action coming up and a nice action going down without a slam. So We like those lift stays better. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you may have seen me do a concrete countertop in Blanca, my first build, and I really liked it. And so did this client. So we actually did concrete countertops, lower and upper. She brought this fridge. This was pre-existing, so this is taller than one that we would normally install. But that's the nice thing about our aluminum cabinets. Even though they are standardized, it's still relatively easy for us to modify. So we really just made this one a little bit taller than it would have been if it was a regular height fridge. You can see we also did concrete out here. Let me turn that exposure down. So on our flip up table out here, we also got concrete. Now this is 1/2 inch. That's 3/4 on the kitchen cabinet. And I know I was just condemning 3/4 inch Baltic birch, but give me a second, I'll come back to that. So yeah, this is Baltic birch, and we actually covered it all the way around. And it is sealed, so water, sauces, drinks, that stuff won't make a stain. Okay, coming back inside. So yeah, nothing too fancy here with the fridge. This is an RV fridge, so it came with that latch, which is nice. We've got a big old freezer and then a very large fridge capacity. Quite nice. This is 12 volt as well. And at the owner's request, we did also wire in a switch for the fridge, so it's easy to turn off when it's not in use. If we come over here, a couple more switches. We've got a switch for our transition trim. Now this is on a rotating dimmer, and that controls both driver and passenger side. And then the lower switch right here is actually our under countertop light, which is also on a dimmer. And then of course we've got our main puck lights. That's right here. Same switch, push on and off, and then rotate to dim. It's kind of hard to see those lights in the daylight, but they are working, trust me. And we will always, just as a quick note, we always put our main light switches right here next to the side door. And the reason for that is if it's dark out, I'm gonna hop out here. If it's dark out, no lights are on in the van, and I'm coming in here, I want to open up my doors and just be able to reach in and kind of feel in the dark for the switch so that I can hit that and see what's going on. The rest of the lights, we want to put them in a place where someone's going to be when they want to use those lights. More likely than not, that's going to be when they're in the kitchen. So that's why, we separate our light switches throughout the van. It's more about where you're going to be when you want to turn those lights on or off. Me personally, I can think of a situation where I'm like in bed and want to turn off the lights, but if all of my light switches are, say, like right here, then I have to get out of bed, come over here and turn everything off. So yeah, we like to spread our light switches out like you do in your house. Moving into the kitchen, we got some pretty standard drawers up here. Some warranty information for the customer. This is just a regular old cabinet, well, aluminum cabinet. So just tons of space in here for storage. This one gets a little tighter. This is our sink cabinet. So obviously we've got our sink and faucet right here. And this is a real drawer, but you can see we cut this area out so that it can fit around the sink and the faucet, but still allows, plenty of storage space on the side of the sink. And it leaves a nice uniform look rather than this being a fixed face and then we've got little drawers right there and then a door that doesn't make sense. So yeah. And here we've got more storage and then just, of course, some plumbing. Nothing too expensive, or nothing too special. Moving over into our closet. We've got 3 closet bays. This one opens up with a top shelf, and we've got this open storage here on the bottom with some bungees. And we did that because if we had a door here, obviously that would open up into whoever is sitting here. But just because of the way that this bench fits, it would be kind of hard to open that door. It'd be hitting this. So we leave that open. We got bungees in here, so you can put whatever you want in there and it won't come flying out. You can get to it whenever you need. And then because this van has an extended roof on top of it, we've got this whole open section above the counter, so the client can, you know, put some baskets up there, whatnot. And then, yeah, it's capped, so we don't have things flying around. We'll take a quick look at the ceiling here. Now, this probably looks like tongue and groove, and it should, but it's not. This is actually one solid sheet of 1/4 inch Baltic birch. And it's cut out on our CNC router, just like everything that's wood. Everything in here that's wood was cut out on the CNC router. Anything that's metal was cut out on a CNC plasma. So all of our shapes are nice and accurate. We can cut them quick, but it also lets us do things like this where we can just take a V-bit on the router and route out a groove. And then that makes it look like we've got two tongue and groove panels that are joined together, but it's one sheet, it's more cost effective, it's more time effective, and it ends up being lighter. We cut the whole thing out at once, we stain the whole thing at once, we install the whole thing at once. It's quite nice. We do have 2 sections just because of the length of the van. Sheets come in 4x8, and this is much longer than 8 feet, so we just split it out. You can see we did the same thing here with the walls. But yeah, you'll see that on a lot of our ceilings. They might look like one thing, but they're actually something else. And that something else is a solid sheet milled to look like multiple pieces. If we're looking here at the bench, before we go around back, all of our utilities are inside the bench. So on the passenger side of the bench, we've got all of our electrical, batteries, inverters, chargers, all that kind of stuff. You can see we've got a nice readout right here so the client can see their voltage at any given time. Right here, we've got a light switch for the water tank. You can see and turn that on and off. Just makes it easy for us to see the water level. Gauges are great, but gauges can be inaccurate. This is 100% accurate 100% of the time. The only thing that could go wrong is the light would blow out, and we just replace the light. But yeah, in this model, in our Econoline build, you'll start seeing that for the water gauge. That's fresh water. The fill is out here. That was pre-existing. So we left that. And then you can see the fill. Let's fix the exposure. That's our fill hose right here, coming in, punching into the back of that bench where it goes to the fresh water tank. You can see the breather hose there as well. Coming back over here to this panel, this switch right here is for the water pump. And then right here, we've just got some USB charging ports. And then, of course, a regular 110 outlet hooked up to the inverter. Now let's go around to the back again, and I'll just show you these closets as well. Okay, so we got 2 levels in here as well, and I didn't mention it before, but our transition light continues, front of the van to the back of the van, so that actually also illuminates the inside of the cabinets at night, which is pretty nice. So it's not like just a dark cave in here. Speaking of dark cave, we've got hatches down here, and you can see if I just try to lift it right here, I can't. But if I lift up my slam latch, it's open. And now we've got access to a big storage tunnel. I like to put dirty, wet, smelly things in there. Maybe not wet, it'll get mildewy. But like I would put my laundry in there and just leave that out of sight, out of mind until it's time to wash. Then of course, we've got our standard reading lights, another 110 outlet, another 110 outlet, and another reading light. And of course, as always, USB port for charging your phone while you're sleeping. And of course, this closet is the same thing. Top shelf with a light and our bottom hatch. Another standard feature on these Econoline models is our outdoor shower here. Just a traditional outdoor RV shower cassette. Got a quick connect hose that connects right here. Options for hot and cold water. This client, we just have cold water. And then we've got our gear tunnel down here for, this is where I'd put wet stuff. Wet, muddy, dirty, sandy, all that kind of stuff goes in the gear tunnel, keeps it away from anything else. And then last but not least, you probably already saw it, so I went right over it talking about the water. But we've got a big 500-pound drawer slide here, rated for 500 pounds. Not that the drawer slide itself is 500 pounds. And then we got the locks down here. I need 2 hands to open it, and one's holding the camera, so sorry. But you pull those latches up and the whole thing comes out. Pretty easy. And then last but not least, for electrical protections, of course, we've got our fuse block. And we actually 3D printed this enclosure to protect everything, make it look a little bit nicer than having it out and open and exposed in the garage. You'll start seeing a lot more 3D printed products or components from us. 3D printings come quite a long way. And for someone like myself who's building custom things, there's little custom other things that we need that the market doesn't make like that. Let me actually show you another example of something. And let me know if you guys want this as a product for sale. This is stair trim, pretty popular in the DIY community. But if you've ever tried to do this stuff in the corners, you know, as a newbie, it can be a little difficult to get those corners looking nice. So what we've done to make that easier for you guys is printed this cap. So now we've got this inside corner cap, and then we've got this outside corner cap. And we can print these for you. You can buy them on our website, and then we can ship it to you so that you can just clip it right on there. You don't have to worry about what your corners look like, and you don't have to worry about any sharp corners here, like jamming your toe or, you know, hurting your pets or your kids or anything like that. And it looks really nice. I think I've said last but not least maybe a few times already, but one more time. Last but not least, of course, we've got our folding bench bed here. We've got on this model 2 seat belts because of the width. If this was going full width to the wall, then we could have 3. Those are bolted to the floor of the van, so nice and secure. And then, of course, if you've seen it before, then you know what this does. If you haven't seen it before, then you don't know what it does. But I'll show you as soon as the camera decides to focus. If I grab this, you can see we can just start rolling it over. That leg will come out, hit the ground, and now we've got a full-size bed width-wise, and this is actually elongated. So this is almost a foot longer than a standard full-size bed, which as a 6'3" man, I can tell you is quite luxurious. My feet don't hang off the end. They normally do hang off the end of a bed. So I actually prefer sleeping in these beds than a regular one, believe it or not. All right, everyone, that wraps it up for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out till the end of the video. It means a lot. And if you want to continue supporting the channel, please consider subscribing, leaving me a thumbs up, drop a comment with any content that you want to see, any van products that you want us to develop. And if you want to buy a van, rent a van, or work with us, check us out at www.vamonosvans.com. Link in the description. I'll see you guys later. Peace.